Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Pete Gray here. Rock Cod Rick Maxa is down at El Salto with the Cast Tours Group. I'll have information on next year's trip, which will be in the middle of February with Cast Tours. That trip sold out very, very quickly, up on the website here in the next week or so. In the studio with me, Dale Hightower from Seaguar Fluorocarbon, talking fluorocarbon, having a great time. Dale, again, is a kind of one of those guys. I first met Dale hanging out with Marty Milner at Bob Merritt's fly fishing store in Fullerton. You used to work there, right?
Yeah, that was, it seems like yesterday. Yeah. But as the crow flies, it was probably
25 years ago.
Yeah, 20-plus years ago, for sure.
Yeah. So, and now, he's a hardcore long-range angler. He's a hardcore bass fisherman, fly fisherman. You do it all.
Yeah, I was lucky. No question about it. I had a dad and a grandfather that exposed me to the outdoors when I was super young. My grandparents lived up on Lake Mojave. Yeah. So I bass fished my entire, growing up. That's all I remember is bass fishing as far as during the summer months. And my dad took me on my first San Diego boat. I think it was the Malahini out of San Diego. I think I was 10. So I got the fever for that. And, fly fishing, I started doing that like right out of high school, and I just always liked to fish. I don't call myself anything other than a fisherman.
And the crazy thing is, like what I talked about earlier, the fabulous fishing Hightowers, your brothers in the business?
Yep.
Both your brothers are in the business.
All three of my brothers are in the business.
Yeah, what am I saying?
I met my wife in the business. My dad has been in the business. So, yeah.
The fabulous fishing Hightower.
I guess Marty coined the right term. So
it's stuck too.
It's stuck.
It? Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure. Hey, you want to join us? 858-457-1090 or 877-792-1090. All the lines are full, but keep on trying because we're giving away a great prize today, courtesy of Seaguar and Mr. Hightower here. A 4-pack of Seaguar Pink Label. Love that Pink Label. It's really great stuff.
Yeah, no, and I tell everybody I fish it. I get the chance to fish. I get the chance to fish everything: Blue Label, Premier, Pink Label. I fish it. I fish them all.
Yeah.
It's not that I just have a favorite. For the simple reason I sell them all, and I want to be able to talk to people that I have the confidence in Pink Label, like I have the confidence in Premier and Blue Label, and I do.
Yep.
So
no doubt about it.
Just letting everybody know.
Well, time for the Catch Report. Let's find out what's biting out there. The Catch Report today is about a product we've been talking about all morning, the Sato Crimp and Winder Company. They only make products that work. You want to end connection failures? You need the Sato Crimp Kit. It's a must-have piece of gear for your trip to catch everything from like a school-sized tuna up to a record-sized tuna. And all brass crimps and other features make it easy and better than ever. It's the preferred connection system for all the guys. Royal Star, Royal Polaris, American Angler, Red Rooster, everybody uses it, and you should too. If you haven't made it your preferred connection for Spectra de Mono or Spectra de Fluorocarbon, get it at selected tackle stores. They have it at Fisherman's Landing Tackle or at SatoCrimpandWinder.com. Captain Mark Wish from Pacific Edge with our FishDope.com report. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Pete. Good morning, Dale.
Morning, Mark.
Well, guys, here we are already into February. Hard to believe that January just evaporated. But it feels a little bit like springtime out there. We've already got some flowers starting to show up on the dogwood trees. It's a good sign. It's early. But locally, it's been really good bass fishing on the spots. I fished Sunday. We started out there on Iser's Reef there, fishing just a strip of frozen squid on the plastic or on a little sculpin catcher. Sculpin catcher is you take an open eye siwash like a 5.0 or 6.0 and carefully squeeze that eye down around the ring on a 1.5 or 2 ounce torpedo sinker. And just put a little chunk or a strip of squid there, and it's the best thing in the world for fishing sculpin and sand bass and heavy structure because it's when you get stuck, it's easy to jiggle off because you get that flexible connection in there. But anyway, we're fishing little sculpin catchers, fishing the plastic, just walloped the big sand bass and a sculpin starting out there, 16 fathoms on one of the outside spots. Lots of fish on the spots. We metered around there, a lot of fish, and then came in kind of midday there, hit some of the little hard bottoms in a little shower, 8 fathoms, fishing a plastic with a strip of squid. Really good calico bass fishing. Those calico bass typically bite a little bit better in that midday when the sun gets high and the wind gets up a little bit. Gets those calicos up around. Fun stuff, and it's early. And also locally, starting to see more signal on that bigger halibut. You know, they've pretty much been MIA for quite some time here, but they're starting to bite a little bit, guys. Still mostly deep, 80 to 120 feet, spread out in some various areas, but probably one of the better ones has been in that San Mateo to just above Dana Point zone, and then there's also been a little pick outside the LA Light here. So it's good to see those guys starting to show up, and then also as spring's getting closer, the rumor mill is cranking up full speed. Everybody's ready to go wallop some of those poor white sea bass that are hiding out somewheres around here. This time of year, no doubt, Catalina is a prime choice. There's already been some bait scattered around in multiple locations, but weather's been a little bit tough to look on the back, and the back is usually where the bite starts, whether it's backside east or backside west. East is my preference. But soon coming, guys, I think we're going to see some action out of that island pretty soon. It feels much different this year. And then offshore, this is where some of those rumors are really getting interesting. Man, there's been some good bluefin stories floating around. Some holdover fish have kind of took up residence, almost feels like, around the Tanner there. One of my friends told me there was a pretty good set from one of the seiners there on the bank. And then there's also been some big ones reportedly seen just outside the west end of the Butterfly there, some of them big ones. And then, that stuff that's been splashing around the sport fleet, fishing the yellows down there at Colnet. All this bodes well, and it's very similar to what happened last year at this time. And we all know what happened last year a few months from this time. So it's time to get them 2 speeds ready. It looks like it's going to get interesting, guys.
Yeah, I like the halibut deal, man. I've been seeing them, look at Western Outdoor News this week. You check out some of those pictures of those big halibut in Western Outdoor News. You see it on fishdope.com. Are they back, Mark?
I don't know what happened to those halibut. We had really good fishing here for a couple years. I mean, really good fishing. And then they kind of just disappeared. I don't know if they just went deep or exactly whatever, but just the last couple of weeks, they're starting to get back in the counts. Some of the private guys that target them down there in that Dana zone are doing really well. And it just seems like, with the springtime, maybe they just went deep with the warmer water and are coming up and getting ready for those spawn conditions. But for whatever the case, they are definitely making a show, and it's really nice. I absolutely love that fresh halibut. I hooked a big one last weekend and had him on for a little bit, and unfortunately dumped him there. And, man, I could taste him already.
Oh, man, that's good news. And, of course, fishdope.com. Danny doesn't mince any words. He tells you where the spots are and how to catch them, and he gets information, guys like Mark Wish, of putting you on the spot. $20 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code HOOKUPNOW. Lowercase, no space, hookup now. And, Mark, how do we find you?
We're in Huntington Beach, corner of Bulls Cheek and Edinger, by the big Chevron station there. The phone number is 714-840-4262. The website, PacificEdgeTackle.com. And we got some interesting stuff showing up here. We're actually building 2 very large custom bow tanks for Mr. Anthony Shea's new project back east there, his 144. And we're going to have those in, I think they're coming Tuesday morning. So if you guys want to see some really cool custom stuff, stop on by.
Cool. All right, Mark, thanks a lot for that call, and we will talk to you next Saturday.
You got it, Pete. It's getting interesting out there. All those bluefin rumors, man. I'm liking it.
Oh, yeah. Dale and I were talking about that, right, Dale?
But we'll find them.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. All right, C4 Sport Fishing. Marcos, what's up?
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Doing great.
A little slow week here. We've been struggling to get the half-day boat out there. Between all that weather we had kind of slowed things down. But they did get out yesterday and caught a yellowtail in the morning there. So that local yellowtail's still around. We do have the Tribute and the Eclipse out today fishing down the coast there on their day-and-a-half trips. And they both had a pretty good weekend last week, about what you'd expect. One of the boats had good bottom fishing, a couple yellowtail. The other boat had a lot of yellowtail fishing a bit further south. So lots of options there. Talking to Booger on the San Diego there. He should be back online around 3-4 days within the next week or two. Don't have a schedule yet, but that should be coming down the pipeline soon there. So still a bit of fishing out there. So the weather's gotten nicer. Expecting a little chance of rain next week, but overall looks like it's going to be nice. So definitely check the website, seaforthlanding.com. Have our half days up there have those day and a half. The Tribute will be going out again next weekend, actually next few weekends here. The Eclipse, they're booking their own trips, and I think they have a day and a half next week, then a 2.5 day the week after that. So lots of options there. Except keep an eye out. As soon as we get that San Diego schedule, we'll post that up there if you want to do that 3-quarter day fishing out the islands. So seaforthlanding.com. Give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. Or you can always come down and visit us in person.
Very good. Appreciate that, Marcos. Fantastic. C4 Sport Fishing. Get out and go fishing, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
We'll talk to you then, guys.
All right. Northern Baja report from our buddy in Sport Fishing Financial, Mr. Rick Jensen. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning, Pete.
How's...
Hey, Dale. I know I talked to your dad a while ago about getting him down to Central Baja and trying to get him to target a world record cabrilla on the fly. So if we can't rally him down there, maybe we can get both of you, or you can substitute for him, because I know at the Central Cortez I think we can get some spots where the world record fly fishing cabrilla will hit the deck.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Do you guys fish much together down there anymore?
Nope. I'm busy running the business, and then he has to cover for me when I go fishing.
That's it.
Well, we know where to find him then. We'll follow up with him.
Perfect.
For sure. So what's going on the water?
You know, the yellowtail fishing just went wide open in a couple places this week. The water temperature pumped up a couple degrees, and down to Bahia Asunción, Captain Juan Arce, fishing with a few passengers, took limits at their lodge there. Down further at Mulahey on the Cortez side, decent fishing for cabrilla and pintas, a few yellowtails in the mix as well. Up at Cedros, Jeff from Cedros Tackle reported lots of black sea bass still in the mix. Halibut were on the beaches, and in between the storms there, the yellowtail are around as well. Over at Bay of LA, Upper Sea of Cortez, lots of wind, not much going on there. And again in San Quintin, which I'm sure is also the case with the boats heading out of Seaforth and out of Point Loma there. Fishermen's landing down to Colonet. You know, the white sea or the yellowtail fishing has really turned on out at San Quintin. They scored limits or close to limits for just about everybody fishing iron. And up the line at Colonet, there's a number of boats headed down there, so we expect to get some good reports from them. Now, last week, Pete, I mentioned that the white sea bass pens were going to come back online here at Dana Point, and I just wanted to put out a big thanks to Coastal Conservation Association and board member Steve for managing the improvements, and also Jim Salazar for lining up some volunteers. So as you talked about last week with Scooch and the gang there on the white sea bass, all this stuff that's happening, the challenges, the improvements, and our desire for everybody to catch more of those fish, we're going to be able to contribute to that and bring in loads of, I think, up to 5,000 per season that can be released in addition to what's already happening by bringing the Dana Point pens back online there.
Fantastic, Rick, and thanks to you and all of your efforts too to help that conservation for sure, and bringing that great fish. As we heard last week from Scooch and Chugi, that resource is in trouble again, and we need to pay attention for sure, no doubt about it. Well, I know, Rick, you've helped a lot of people, a lot of our listeners, including myself, make really great financial decisions here in these challenging times. And if somebody wants more information about Sport Fishing Financial or just want to talk fishing, how do we get a hold of you?
Well, we're going to be spending some time in our new San Diego office with Coastal Tax Advisors starting late next week or early the week after that. You can always come and see me in our San Juan Capistrano office. We've got some great, interesting opportunities to get your money to work for you in 2017. We're even putting together a trustee pool with really just people working in the fishing community and guys in the fishing community where we can get a nice interest return in a low interest rate environment, owning real estate through these trustees and getting a high interest income put into your checking account regularly every month is a nice option I'd like to share with some of the fishing listeners here. So find us on the web at sportfishingfinancial.com or give us a call at 949-481-1807.
And that's really great that you're partnering with Dave, another real fisherman down there at Coastal Tax Service, and that's going to be a heck of a team right there.
Yeah, he's got some great planning ideas. We're starting to share some clients. It's a great place for the local community there in San Diego to meet, and there's a lot that can be done. A lot of guys, it's like going to the dentist, and you don't want to sit down and go through this stuff, but get it done, set it and forget it, and plan for the future. Get your money working for you this year.
There you go. All right, Rick Jensen, sportfishingfinancial.com. Thanks for that, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate that. That is our Catch Report today, sponsored in part by Dana Landing. It's on Mission Bay, and it's your one-stop shop for everything you need to go fishing. Complete saltwater tackle store, full deli, Mexican and California licenses, trips and six-pack charters. And when it comes to freshwater tackle, check out East County Bait and Tackle. I bet they've have that Seaguar finesse over there.
I bet you they will have that.
Yeah.
If they don't have it, they will.
They will. Full line of all the freshwater tackle and live bait for a great day on the lake. That's Dana Landing. It's right across from SeaWorld, next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay. And East County Bait and Tackle at the end of the 67 freeway at Mapleview in Lakeside. Check DanaLanding.com for more information. Phones are packed. One line popped open during the Catch Report there. You want to get through, it's 858-457-1090 open right now. Jerry in Garden Grove. Good morning, Jerry. Thanks for joining us and hanging in there on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Pete and Dale. I booked a 2.5-day leaving with Brucey on the Fortune. Well, it'll be 2 weeks from today, our first day on the water, probably at Colonet. Gear me up, and how long of a top shot should I use, and what size hook for the dropper looping?
A dropper loop. Well, typically with dropper loop, I would say that a good chunk of people fishing dropper loops not going to fish fluoro. They're going to fish straight mono. It's one of the very few times. Now, me being the Seaguar rep, I do braid and then a longer top shot of fluorocarbon. So I know this is going to make everybody cringe a little bit. I'll put a 25-yard spool of fluorocarbon. So if I'm drop shotting, I'm probably using, or not drop shotting, dropper looping, excuse me. Got a little confused with freshwater fishing for a second. If I'm doing a dropper loop, I'm going to put like a spool of 60 on with the braid. So that way I have a long enough piece of fluoro to continue to do dropper loops. And, that way if you do get into tangles and stuff, it's easier to cut out. But I would definitely say 60 pound if you're dropper loop fishing.
And what knot are you tying on your dropper loop?
I do a spider hitch. I do a spider hitch as my loop off of it, because spider hitch is such a strong knot.
Yeah. Spider hitch, or even one that we've taken from fly fishing, and that's the surgeon's knot, four-turn surgeon's knot.
Surgeon loop, or the spider hitch.
Basically the same knot.
Yeah,
right?
Similar, close enough. Close enough. They're both super strong knots. So that's what I'm doing on the deal, and then I use the John Collins knot for the fluoro too. I do like an entire spool almost of. Because then I don't mess with it. Yeah. Because when you're dropper loop fishing, you are definitely getting in tangles if it's a good bite.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, hope that helps you out. Good luck, Jerry. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Let's talk to Dennis calling us from Linda Vista. Good morning, Dennis. Thanks for joining us and hanging in there with us.
Oh, good morning, guys. It's nice of you to take my phone call, and it's a beautiful day out today, and maybe I can get out and do some fishing. But I want to thank you, Pete, for your support in the San Diego Anglers. I know it was a week late, but another great event, and thank you for your help in running it and getting the word out.
You bet.
I have a question for your guest. In freshwater, do you make it small enough to be able to braid the lines, and if so, what lines do you carry?
Define like braiding the line. How are you
what is the smallest line that you have? Could you use it in freshwater, or
we make a fly fishing tippet down to 4 thousandths in diameter, which is 7x, which is pretty tiny.
7x, which is like less than 1 pound.
Yeah, it's more like 2 pound. Yeah,
2 pound. Yeah.
So we make it tiny. So we sell probably more, believe it or not, we sell more fluorocarbon to the freshwater market than the saltwater market. If you imagine that, just because bass fishing has exploded in this country, and I think bass fishermen are way onto the braid and fluorocarbon technology big time.
No doubt about it. The finesse that you talked about, Seaguar finesse, that's not available yet?
No, it's available right now.
Oh, it's available right now.
Now.
You can get it.
You can get it at. You're probably starting to see it filter in through tackle stores.
Turner's Outdoorsman?
Turner's Outdoorsman will be carrying it. If they don't have it now, they will be carrying it. I know that for 100%. I know they'll have it at the Fred Hall show in Long Beach.
Oh, the massive
The massive. That's a month away. Do you know it's a month away?
It's less than a month
away.
Yeah,
exactly.
Today's what? It's March 1st.
It would be all like
this
would be like Saturday of the
Saturday
of the Fred Hall show.
Yeah, because there's 28 days.
Exactly.
Yeah, so gear up, get ready, and that's the cool thing about that, Dennis, is that as you know, you go to those shows and you learn so much. It's not just a buying event, but they have seminars. They have people like Dale to teach you knots, and everybody's there. You're not, you're going for the real deal here.
And the show's evolved, I mean, that show started. Well, I remember the first time that I did the show. Worked the Fred Hall. My dad was a Fenwick rep back in the 80s. And I know I wasn't old enough to buy beer. So I was out of high school. I was probably about like 19 years old. So I've been doing that show since I was 19. And back in those days, there was no internet. The only way you learned about products was to go to that show. And there wasn't even that much selling at that show. It was people went there to learn. They would walk into the Fenwick booth and they want to bend rods and see what was new, and then they'd get a catalog and they'd go to the next one. They didn't necessarily go there to buy anything. They went there to learn. And now with the internet, everything's changed. So people know about your new products. They come in and they heard about Finesse via the social media or the radio show or the internet. So they come into the booth and then they want to learn a little bit more. Yeah. They want to learn about what they should use it for. They might know about the product. And then also they want to know who's got it at the show because I want to buy it today.
Yeah.
So the show's evolved a little bit, and I think part of it is there's so much information available out there via YouTube and social media in addition to the internet.
No doubt.
So, but we're there to actually hands-on help you pick the best products for your fishing application.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the call this morning, and that does free up 858-457-1090. Speaking of the Fred Hall Show, Bart Hall's on the line. Good morning, Bart.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Morning, Bart.
Doing
Good
great.
morning,
We're pretty excited. Is that right? Today, 4 weeks away from the Saturday of Fred Hall.
It'd be like Saturday.
Yes, it is. And, Tim Baker's been up here all week in the office.
Tim Baker.
Tim Baker. And Tim and Mike get in before I do, but I get in there, pretty early. And I stay as late as I can. I think I left last night around 6:30, and Mike was still there, and I know he's in the office now. I'm at home cooking breakfast, but I'll be in there again. It's amazing. Even though it's 4 weeks away, I don't think we'll be ready. I don't think so. It seems impossible.
I doubt that. You guys are always ready.
Bart. Yeah, you're always ready. Come on now.
But I'm sitting here listening this morning, and I'm thinking, I'm excited about the Fred Hall shows coming up. But Pete, I don't think I've ever told you this. Certainly not on the air. I get so excited about listening to your show every weekend. No matter what's been happening during the week, no matter how much pressure this is the time when I can just sit back, not think about it, and listen on my phone, of course, because I don't get radio up here. And what a great show. And having Dale on and realizing the Hightower family, the history we've had together for such a very long time, it's just a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, it is. It's a total homecoming for my family. It's as long as my dad can walk, he'll be at that show, even if he's not participating in the business. It's kind of cool. Like I said, I'm trying to do the math.
He's like the mayor of the booth.
Well, yeah, he's a figurehead.
Yeah.
He's like how the king and queen of England.
Yeah.
It's like a figurehead. They have a prime minister.
Right.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
And then he's like the king. He comes and goes as he wants to.
Yeah.
He socializes with all his friends. And he still does a lot of business for me.
And the cool thing, too, that we were just talking about, Bart, too, is that show, Long Beach, is going to be the opportunity to buy your fluorocarbon from Seaguar at a heavily reduced price.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, the show's changed a little bit, and Bart will agree. It was the information that originally, I think, that got that show. People just wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Now they want to learn, talk to and see celebrities like you, Pete. People listen to you on the radio show, and they get to meet you in person. Same with me. They hear me.
They want to meet you.
Tons of people that had never met me before, but they heard me on your show over the years and came by the booth. And it's just a great opportunity, and it's exciting. So I think I think the freshwater we're going to have this year is going to turn the show upside down. I think everybody's excited that we have water in all the lakes and streams and rivers. So
pretty
I think I know personally from not only business, because I think it's going to be good for business, but it's going to be good for everybody.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Bart, we're excited.
I was blown away to hear you say you do more freshwater than saltwater. That's awesome. That's really awesome. But, I was thinking the other thing, Dale, is that you said something earlier, you sell fun, and, people often ask me about the shows, and, really the shows are simply a byproduct of the promotion of sport fishing. And what I consider our jobs to be is that we simply promote sport fishing as you do, and then the business part comes after that. Because we've all of us have donated time and stuff, and the fact that you're teaching people what to do and all that's the fun of part of being in the fishing industry, is you get to be part of a lifestyle that you're continuing that's gone on for generations, centuries, and we hope it continues for more centuries.
What number is this, Bart, of the Long Beach Show?
This will be 71. Well, it's only 71 years in the marketplace. We started at Gilmore Stadium, went to the Pan Pacific, the Great Western Sports Arena, and then Long Beach. We've been on 40 years at Long Beach, but 71 years in the marketplace.
This will be the 40th year at Long Beach and 71 years in business.
That's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations. Bart, we're excited. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you, guys. It's really fun listening to you.
All right. Have a great breakfast. Appreciate the call this morning. And when we come back, more of your phone calls. Get on through. Keep on trying. Dale Hightower is here from Seaguar, and we're talking fishing on Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Mighty 1090.
Hey, everybody, this is Captain Dwayne Diego, 4-pack charter captain, here to talk to you about Parker Boats and the good folks at West Coast Marine. When it came time to start Pinnacle Sport Fishing and get my own boat, there was only one choice. I wanted a Parker, and there's a real good reason for it. The fishability and seaworthiness. I've been fishing on Parkers for years now, and I know the abuse they can take. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty, industrial-strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's what I need when we're out 12 hours a day, over 300 days a year, running charters. The guys at West Coast Marine built me one heck of a fishing boat. From the custom tower with steering and throttle controls to the backup bait pump system, my Parker 2520 XLD will deliver me to the fishing grounds reliably and safe. Take it from me. If you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check them out and their inventory and information online at westcoastmarine.com.
It's time for our Power Pro 30-second seminar, and I tell you what, with Power Pro, what I like about it is the knot strength. You tie a knot with Power Pro, whether it be a John Collins knot, an Albright knot, back-to-back uni, they hold and work with Power Pro.
Yeah, the line is just not stiff. It's the perfect amount of round. It has good abrasion resistance, and it's just easier for connections than other types of line out there.
Indeed. Power Pro at your favorite tackle store, or check out PowerPro.com. This is Pete Gray to tell you about one of my favorite places to fish in the world. It's Whalers Cove Lodge in Angoon, Alaska. For several years now, we've been hosting groups at Whalers Cove, and this is certainly one trip I do not miss. Each year, the Powers family makes great improvements to the lodge that make this great lodge even better. New rooms, new boats, new fish processing facilities, new outdoor kitchen. The list goes on and on. As for fishing, the calm waters around Whalers Cove are 100 miles from any large town, so you will enjoy wilderness adventure without the crowds. Whalers Cove Lodge has some of the best salt and freshwater fishing in Alaska, and there's no need for a bumpy boat ride for hours. You can find productive fishing for salmon, halibut, and rockfish just 10 minutes from the lodge. Here's the deal. The word is out on Whalers Cove, so you want to go? Book soon. WhalersCoveLodge.com or call 800-423-3123. WhalersCoveLodge.com for the Alaska fishing experience of a lifetime.
It's big, it's comfortable, and she is beautiful. The state-of-the-art long-range sport fishing vessel, the Independence. Veteran captains Mark Paisano and Paul Strasser built this incredible 112-foot vessel with the most modern technology and luxurious comfort available. Captain Jeff Dubois has helped make the Independence a top-notch operation. Call Independence Sport Fishing at 619-226-6006 or check the availability on spring, summer, and fall trips now at IndependenceSportFishing.com.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now 18 stores throughout Southern California and 3 in San Diego County. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find the location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
For decades, the Kona Kai has been considered San Diego's premier marina resort and spa. Now with millions of dollars in upgrades, the Kona Kai Resort is a destination for travelers worldwide who can live it every day. The docks and services are the finest quality in San Diego, and the Kona Kai is the closest marina to the open ocean. As a marina tenant, you enjoy many benefits, including secured free parking, a deluxe health club, swimming pool, and more. Enjoy discounts at their restaurant, bar, and hotel. If you don't have a boat, there are memberships available at a very affordable price. The Kona Kai Club has been offering members a home away from home since 1953. Members can spend their days on Kona Kai's private beach, meet new people in the club's modern lounge, share a meal with family at Bessel Restaurant and Bar, or pamper themselves in Spa Terra. Check out ResortKonakai.com on the web for more information, to reserve a slip, or inquire about joining the club. The Kona Resort, like being on vacation every day in your own backyard.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Aztecs.
Put that slam dunk. That's what I'm talking about.
San Diego sports leader, the Mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Dale Hightower from Seaguar is here. I got to tell you, thinking about going on trips, we talked about the last couple of days. They have a special at a great place, Kingfisher Charters in Sitka. If you're going to Sitka, Kingfisher is number one. They are the best. That's the people you need to fish with. And they have a $300 savings on a great 3-day, 4-night package at Kingfisher Charters. $22.95 per person. You arrive on May 17th. Great time of the year, too. You have king salmon, ling cod, hot halibut. That's it. Kingfisher Charters in Sitka. There were a couple spots left on our trip in mid-June. Just give them a call, 800-727-6136. Kingfisher Charters, the best Sitka has to offer. Let's go ahead and jump into those jam-packed phone lines. They want to talk to you. So, Pablo in Chula Vista, you're on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Great.
Hey, I got a couple questions. You know, you're talking about like the big fish that have been around here. Your setup, what size reel and rod would you set up for like the Yummy Flyers, and what kind of setup would you use like for a flat fall? What size reel and rod and line?
All right, well, I'll defer on the reel size to Pete. What I fish line size is I'm probably fishing 80-pound braid, and I'd probably want to have a minimum of 500 yards on it would be minimum. And on the like flat fall jigs, 60-pound would be light, 80-pound would be preferred on that, because they do inhale those jigs. And I watched a guy who was on a fish for a little bit longer than he should have been, and that's straight leader in teeth if they inhale it, if they get it in the gut, and they will. So I'd say at least 6 feet of fluoro, 80-pound minimum. Attached to minimum.
For the abrasion resistance.
For the abrasion resistance.
Not for the
it's
weather.
It's not for the invisibility deal. If they inhale that flat fall jig and you gut hook it,
right.
If you have a short piece, it's probably you're going to lose the fish.
And it's not going to make any difference whether they're going to bite it, whether
Nope.
you have 80 or 100.
Right.
Or
Exactly.
60
Exactly. So
why not go with 80?
So yeah. So I like minimum of 80-pound braid, 500 yards, 2-speed reel, high torque. I'll let Pete.
Talica 20, Talica 16 would be my choice.
There you go.
You can't beat either
and
one.
And then I want a rod capable of fishing. I was fishing them on a actually a pretty heavy 800 XH CalStar was my.
Why
heavy,
not?
Heavy. I like it because it's kind of I can rail that.
Yeah.
Deal.
And you have the backbone to pull on.
Yeah. So I was fishing them on an 800 XH CalStar this summer.
Nice.
So that's what I like.
Yeah.
And then as far as the Yummy Flyer, I think they fish heavier outfits for that.
Yeah, you got to use that like 200 pound, like a kite rig.
It's a kite rig, you know. It's a sure kite rig. So that's such a specialty. I mean, I got a new kite rig for my 16, but that's such a specialty rod and reel.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to get used much, and it's not cheap.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey Pablo, I hope that helps you out. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. I want to throw out a get well soon to our buddy Bob Aronson from Angler Management. Had a little back surgery.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah. Bob, get well. We need you back out there fixing our Yamaha outboards. So get well real quick. Bob's one of the great guys, and I hope he has a speedy recovery for
Me
sure.
too.
Yeah. Hey, let's go ahead and jump back into those phones. Let's talk to Dennis in Norwalk. Dennis, thanks for joining us on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I have a big question for your guests. Dale?
Yes.
When storing your line, let's say you only go out this 2 or 3 times a year, what's the best way to store your line, on or off the reel?
Well, I would say you're talking about saltwater applications, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, saltwater, since I fish such short top shots of fluoro, whatever fluoro is on my reels from fishing this season, it's not much. I plan on cutting that off anyway. And then the rest of the line stored on the spools that you purchase them on. So that line, as long as it's stored in a cool environment, I mean, don't put them in the trunk of your car in the summertime. Fluorocarbon is susceptible to heat at a certain level. I store mine in my garage. My garage probably doesn't get over 100 degrees. And if it's cool, I mean, if you got a room in the house that's your fish room where you keep all your stuff, that's probably a better environment. But I store mine in the garage, and I got a couple different.
And how long will it last?
Yeah, we tell everybody 5 years. That's if you don't use it in 5 years, you need to fish more.
Yeah.
That's what I decided. Like if you don't use all your fluorocarbon up, I have a system because I typically have a lot of fluorocarbon in various places. I put little dates on them when I first actually take it off the spool.
That's a great idea.
So I just take it a little bit off the spool. Once I start to use it, I put a little date on it, and then I know. And I try to use that up. And then if a buddy of mine's going like, "Hey Dale, I need to you have any extra fluorocarbon," I might have a half spool. I try to recycle, or not recycle, but rotate. So if you go to the Fred Hall show and stock up, put a date on it when you bought it, and then use the stuff up.
317.
Right, and here's what I've learned about. I was so bummed. I had 2 really nice bottles of wine that I wanted to open, and then the corks went bad, and I stored it in the house. I stored it exactly how you're supposed to store wine. And then I decided I'm no longer saving wine. When I buy it, I want to drink it.
Okay, there you go.
So it's the same with fluorocarbon. You buy it, use it. Use it. Don't collect it. If you need to use it, and rotate it.
There you go. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phones. Talk to Ray in Oceanside. Hi, Ray. Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call.
Morning.
Morning, Pete. Morning, Dale. Couple questions. First, using fluorocarbon, my father, I'm 57, so I'm an old school fisherman. My father always taught us to cut off and retie after every bite. Is that necessary with your new high-tech fluorocarbon?
I'd say average fishing we do off our coast, I always run if you get the hook back, if it's a circle hook and it's a nice corner hook and deckhand gets it out for you, and I run. If I've got a little nick in it, I retie. So if it's a big fish, absolutely retie. And we all know what the difference between an average fish is and a big fish.
Yeah. Yes.
And I just run it up and down because I fish fairly short. Locally I fish about 6 foot top shot leaders using the John Collins knot. So once it gets to about and I'll just cut it back a little bit if there's some abrasion around the hook, and then retie. And then when it gets to about 3 feet, I just tie a new leader on.
Let's use about a 25-yard top shot. So I allowed that so I could cut back, because that's my father and what we were ready to do.
Yeah, well,
my other question is,
and the 25 foot's not a bad deal to go. You just realize that there's a lot of fluorocarbon in the water if you do get in a tangle. A lot of people don't want to try to cut out of it because there's a lot of money in the water.
No doubt about it.
And your other question?
Freshwater fishing. I do both. I do a lot of fishing in Big Bear and Arrowhead, and I do a lot of clear water fishing.
Yes.
Which of your fluorocarbon do you recommend?
Well, I would always tell you our Tatsu is ridiculous. So and we make that down to 4 pound. So that is ridiculous.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's double structure like all of the other products we've been talking about, Flora Premier and Blue Label. Our new Finesse line, that's smallest we make that in, is 5.2, which still might work for your applications, especially in clear water. And then in our standard single structure main line, Invisex is such a popular product. It's our Invisex to freshwater Seaguar is like Blue Label is to saltwater. It's like it's the standard. We make better product than that, but it's still that people identify our
still 100% fluorocarbon.
Yeah, all of our products 100% fluorocarbon.
Okay.
So, or at least
and then it's all about price point, basically, is what you're looking at then, right?
Yeah, you just you get a little more performance every time you pay a little bit more money. So the range is from our Red Label, which is our first fluorocarbon we ever made, and we sell still a lot of that. And then to our Tatsu. So I always highly recommend Tatsu to anybody because if you're fishing Flora Premier and Blue Label, I think you're used to that type of performance. That's just incredible knot strength, and I know.
And the other huge property of Tatsu, I'm a huge Tatsu fan for anything under 25 contests. The other incredible property of fluorocarbon is not only abrasion resistance, the strength and everything, it is the sinkability.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're fishing finesse baits and freshwater and stuff like that.
Yeah, the sink rate of fluorocarbon is denser than water.
Yeah.
And there's a huge advantage on that. I know that's why you guys like it for San Diego when you guys are fishing in the bay. It's
fly fishing, same type of thing. Yeah,
exactly. Right? So, and one of the things that you find with Tatsu and freshwater applications, you could do the same technique where you don't have to spool an entire reel up. A lot of the bass guys they spool with braid, right? And we make a freshwater braid or smackdown, and then they top shot maybe 50 yards of Tatsu on top, since you're really not casting the entire spool.
Yes.
So
how big are the spools of Tatsu? Say
200 yards.
They're 200 yards.
So you could look at it, if you put 50 yards on a reel, you could get 4 fill-ups.
Yeah.
Which is,
and a spool of Tatsu is about $50.
Yeah. So
depending on the size.
But I tell everybody, it's kind of like heroin. Once you fish Tatsu, you're not going to want to fish anything else. It's actually ridiculous. And everybody, including Pete and Rick and a lot of my buddies that have fished professionally on the bass deal, once they fish Tatsu, they're wrecked.
Yeah.
They're completely wrecked.
Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phones and talk to Rich and Bradley. Thanks for joining us, Rich.
Hey, you've mentioned freshwater enough times where I feel like I can be confident in getting I'm talking to the right guy about some of the lighter line applications. One of my fishing buddies wanted, and he was excited to share with me his secret weapon because he was getting bit more often, and that was Red Label. And I'd been using the Blue Label for a long time, and the first time I took some line off of a spool of Red Label, I thought, man, this stuff really feels good, and felt real confident about using it. But I didn't have the shock resistance, which is or shock strength. That's one of the strengths that you haven't really mentioned yet. You've mentioned tensile strength and knot strength and abrasion. And I'm wondering, since I'm not getting the shock strength in like the 6-pound that I'm using in freshwater bass applications, should I go to a slightly larger size in the Red Label, because I bought a few spools of this stuff?
Well, you could definitely do that. So I'll do a little chronological history. So Red Label is the original Seaguar fluorocarbon introduced in Japan, the original. So this was like the first product that was brought to market, in the fluorocarbon fishing, world, which Seaguar was the inventor of. So Red Label is it. We actually brought it into the country and marketed it as Red Label after we'd already had other products in this market, because the technology had already moved past Red Label. The reason that we did that was part of its price. It's less money than all of our other products. Was that there was some, quote, shady black market importers that were taking the Japanese packaged Red Label that's all in Japanese and bringing it over to this country and selling it to some of our retailers as the really good stuff that they only sell in Japan, that is the best. This is what they sell in Japan. Well, the truth of the matter is it's our entry-level fluorocarbon, but since it was in Japanese, nobody knew what it was, and they were selling it for 3 or 4 times retail what the product was worth. So it was really misleading consumers. So, we as reps is actually the Hightowers approached Seaguar like, hey, bring this in. It'll give us kind of a starting price point fluorocarbon for people that might shy away from some of our other fluorocarbons. It's still better than everybody else's fluorocarbon, I can promise you that. But the technology's moved past Red Label, truthfully, so that's why it was never originally marketed here. We'd already had so
much better.
Yeah, so in freshwater applications, InvizX would probably be the next product you should try that's got more, or AbrazeX. Like those two right there.
What's the difference between a VizX and a AbrazeX?
There's just obviously more abrasion resistance with the AbrazeX. I think personally, if you're fishing Red Label, I would try AbrazeX, because AbrazeX, it has shock built into it. The resin technology and fluorocarbon technology has evolved past Red Label. So even though it's a great product compared to everybody else's, it's our starting point fluorocarbon. So I sell a lot of it, and that's how I market.
So which is the higher level, the AbrazeX or the InvizX?
AbrazeX is one step above InvizX.
InvizX, very good.
So and then which is one step below Tatsu. So Tatsu has everything you're asking for, and that's what double structure fluorocarbon brings, is that shock value. So in that whole mix of developing an inner and outer coating of resins, we can add shock value to it as well.
Invisex and Abrazex are single
structure.
Yeah,
yep.
Okay, very good. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Pete in Rancho Penasquitos, just about 30 seconds left, Pete. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Thanks for the show. Love it. Dale, got a question for you on, could you give your thoughts on the alternatives for using hollow core and avoiding doing the knot and what extra benefit you get in terms of strength? And I'm interested in that for both fresh and salt water.
Okay.
Well, the hollow core definitely, eliminating knots, using that, I call it the Chinese finger cuff method, which is what hollow core is, eliminates a knot. So you get more closer to that ultimate tensile strength. Anytime you tie a knot in something, you're gonna reduce that tensile strength because knot strength is not 100%. So whether it's freshwater or saltwater, we make thread lock down to 50 pound, which you can probably use in some freshwater applications, but I think in a lot of the lighter freshwater applications, you're not going to be able to use braid. So I really think that
you don't make
we don't make a hollow
braid.
Yeah, we do in our but you can't do that hollow connection in a solid braid.
Okay, right.
So there all of a sudden now you're gonna have to start to tie knots.
Right.
So if you want to get to that, I think the cleanest to tensile strength, and that's why a lot of us like it in the saltwater applications for big fish, is it's giving you the least amount of knot decrease. So that Chinese finger cuff gives you the highest, I think, ability to get closer to tensile strength. But once again, you're still tying a knot to the hook, or you're crimping it, and you're losing a little bit of that.
Yeah. Very good. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. When we come back, we're going to give away a bunch of fluorocarbon here to one lucky caller. Wrap things up with Dale and tell you about tomorrow's show. Stay tuned. More Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Mighty 1090.
For East Cape fishing, Jen Wren is known as the best. This is Mark Rayer. Great service, top quality equipment, including all accurate reels, CalStar rods, and Seaguar electronics, has put my immaculately maintained twin-engine cruisers in a class of their own. For memories of a lifetime, just bring your hat and sunglasses, and we'll provide a fishing experience that will exceed your expectations. Our calendar's filling fast, so don't miss out. For packages, 2 live webcams, a weekly fishery report, and more, check out TeamJenWren.com. We pick up at all East Cape resorts, so let's go fishing.
This is Rick Jensen with Sport Fishing Financial. I think most of you get that I'm a fisherman and work with the fishing community, but to understand exactly what Sport Fishing Financial does, ask yourself these 4 questions. First, do you really know how much money you'll need in order to retire comfortably? Next, do you know how much you'll have to save on a regular basis to reach that number? Do you have a process that includes a proven investment strategy and confidence that the money you save will grow? Last, do you have a plan for how to turn your savings into retirement income? If you don't have good answers to these questions, you're not alone, but you should, and I can make sure you do. In addition, if you own a business and currently provide or are planning on providing a retirement savings plan for yourself or your employees, we should really talk. We offer an outstanding variety of creative solutions that are sure to meet your needs.
Some of our listeners may feel overwhelmed. Others may believe they are already doing the best they can. In either case, I bet Rick can help. Set a time to meet with him and start planning for your personal or business investment success. Find Rick on the web at sportfishingfinancial.com or give him a call at 949-481-1807.
For local and long-range fishing, the Islander out of Fisherman's Landing is a favorite among seasoned or novice anglers. But Islander Charters is much more than great fishing. They also do incredible Guadalupe white shark diving trips as well as a schedule of kayak mothership trips. You need to check out the Islander on their website, islander-charters.com. The Islander is San Diego's leader when it comes to 2 to 5 day fishing. Watch the website for trips and adventures available. Experience the Islander difference. Visit islander-charters.com for all the details.
No matter the fishing conditions, count on the Seaguar family of fluorocarbon leader material to help you catch more fish. Fluoro Premier has a smaller diameter with the highest break strength. Plus, it is super soft. When bites are tough, tie on Fluoro Premier. Blue Label is tough as nails with incredible abrasion resistance and impact strength. And new Pink Label is the choice for tough light conditions, giving you a little more visibility for better line control. Pick up a spool of Seaguar at your favorite tackle dealer or visit Seaguar.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Congratulations, Pete in Rancho Penasquitos. He's the last caller, and that's the one that Dale picked out of the stack this morning.
Perfect. Good job, Pete. Congrats.
Pete, and you're going to get a really nice bunch of a pink label Seaguar fluorocarbon. Love that stuff, and go fishing with it for sure. And thank you very much once again. You'll be at Fred Hall Long Beach show with a pretty phenomenal deal on several of the Seaguar products.
Yep, definitely. If you need braid and fluorocarbon, you need to come to Long Beach and stock up on Seaguar.
There you go. And good luck on your Red Rooster trip a week from yesterday.
Yeah. So I'm
forward to hopefully maybe you can get Andy to call the show and give us the report.
If not, I'll try to call in when I get back.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I'm excited, but I was telling you I don't get excited until the boat departs out of the dock.
Yeah.
Then you get excited.
And it's like here I'm on.
You're like, I can't. Yeah. I'm doing this.
Yeah, we're going. Phones are off.
Exactly.
Internet's not on. Let's just go.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congratulations and thanks. We're very proud to represent the finest fluorocarbon on the market. That's Seaguar. We're very proud that is our product of choice here.
We're proud to be associated with the premier radio show in Southern California.
Oh, thanks very much. Hey, thank you for listening today. Tomorrow, Captain Frank Lopresti from the Royal Polaris will be here, and we're going to have a lot to talk about with Frank. So that'll be a great show tomorrow morning, 7 and 9 a.m. See you right back here on the Mighty 1090.